What's up, everyone? We are back. I don't even plan to do these daily streams. I just literally have just stuff to talk about sometimes. And I'm just like, I got an hour or so interrupted per day. And I'm like, you know what? I'll just get on here and I got a topic. I can talk about it. It'll be interesting, I think. This will be a technical one and pretty short. I'll go for about 25 minutes or so. But yeah, get your questions in if you have any early. And I'll try to get to as many as I can. But I'm going to go through some bridge stuff. So let me go ahead and get started on that. Let me share the link. So if you didn't know, it's a bridge update recently. If you're using GoRealDefi.com, you literally don't have to do anything. If you downloaded it from the official source, for example, go to bridge.pulsechain.com. We love decentralization, IPFS. You can use the link here that takes you there. You can run it on your computer, all that stuff. You just gotta, make sure to keep up with updates and new versions and stuff. Current one is version 0.17. If you want to see where I pull version information from for GoRealDefi, it's the website /version.json. You can see different versioning, the different IPFS links, all the nerd stuff. But anyways, if you don't want to do any of that, just go to GoRealDefi, click bridge, because there's a backend script that helps the website keep up to date. And you can see here version 1.0.7. So I heard there was a new update. I checked it on there and then posted this. And then someone asked a very interesting question. Do you know what the improvements were? You know what changed between version 1.06 and 1.07? And yeah, I was like, good question. I really don't know. I didn't think about it much. I didn't see, when we look at it, we don't see the bridge fee changing. We still see it 0%. So what did change? So that took me down a rabbit hole. So shout out to Red Viking, which, I think every once in a while, somebody asks some very interesting question, which I didn't even think, I hadn't thought about before. And I thought, okay, this would be good evergreen content just to go down. And it's intellectually interesting for me. So yeah, I was like, I don't know, but maybe not that hard to figure out. And I give that with the context of, I've worked in tech for a long time on the engineering side. So for me, a lot of this stuff is just, I did it before, but in a different context type of thing, as far as discovery and research and all that stuff too. So again, let's nerd out for a moment here. I'll try to make it quick, and you may not understand much of it, but hopefully this will be helpful for in the future, because I'm gonna, in the future, like, why not? Different IPFS apps get released. This would be an interesting way. Maybe I'll do some more diffing in the future to see what changed because we don't have like if you, on the client side, if you look at the clients for, let's GitLab, PulseChain.com. If you go here and we have new releases for the clients for validators, such as, Aragon, GoPulse, Geth, or Go, what we call it, GPLS, if you want to pulsify it a little bit. When new stuff's released, we can see releases here, and you can subscribe and get updates and all this stuff as well. But when there's new releases of this stuff, we can see, okay, there's a new version here. It was released 3 days ago, and updated to, looks like the latest, PulseChain, or the latest Ethereum version of GoETH or Geth. Added some PulseChain boot nodes, all that stuff. So, and it give you the notable upstream changes. So full support for the Cancun upgrade, different stuff here. Again, this is a validator AMA, but I've talked about before, different reasons to update, different reasons you can wait, critical ones versus not critical, all that stuff. And we'll get to it here. But anyways, when new versions of the clients come out, you can see the changes here. But for the IPFS apps, I'm not aware of any place to see what has actually changed. So, you don't need a dev team to tell you what's changed if you know how to compare code and use diffing tools and all that stuff. So I was actually like, there's got to be a way to download these apps. And there is. Yeah, you could just use this Kubo client. So if you type in Kubo IPFS, it took me a little bit to figure out the best way to do all this stuff. But yeah, if you use the Kubo, I'll just put this in the chat. If you use the Kubo client, you basically could just use IPFS commands, the client at the command line. And if you install it and then initialize it, configure it, all that stuff, this is all commands to do it at a terminal for Linux. And there's you can, I think they're pretty was equivalent, type of stuff to do for if you're using Windows and Macs trying on, but I just use Linux for this type of stuff because it's so much easier. So first step, I installed the IPFS client so I can download the apps. And on the thing that also keeps the bridge and stuff updated at like a minute, I think it got to set on like a minute timer. It checks and see if there's a new version, updates the site, does all that stuff, and then keeps all the verification stuff going good too. I was checking the log because I do a log just to see, just for debugging mostly. But I'm like, oh, cool. I can actually see, I can capture the previous one because you really don't know the previous version's address because the site keeps it up to date. So, and they don't list it. If you go here, or if you go to here, they don't list it either. They just list the latest version because like, why would they? They don't need to list all the previous versions and stuff. So, yeah, I just happened to capture the previous IPFS hashes and stuff for version 106. And then of course, 107 is the latest. Got those hashes. And then in order to download the apps, which just download them into a folder with like all the different artifacts and JavaScript and all the stuff in there, you do IPFS, get, and then the hash, and then -o is just output, and the directory you want to output it to. For example, I'll just use bridge version 106. Same thing with version 107. And then there's a tool, again, it's been around forever. If you're a nerd, you may have heard of it. It's called diff. And what diff does recursively do unified diff and output the changes into changes.diff file between the two versions of the files of the directories that were downloaded. So to go through all the files in the directory, see what's changed, see what's different, and then tell you that output. And then once I opened up all the changes, you can see pluses and minuses for removals and additions and stuff. I noticed the JavaScript files had been updated because there wasn't much in there that was interesting other than that. So updated the main JavaScript file, and then I looked a little deeper and started diffing these files as well to see what changed. And there's a bunch of it's like packed and obfuscated and all this stuff. So I just spent most of my time spent was just going to different like tools and resources to figure out like, can you prettify this? Can you make it readable? Because it's just imagine one line of compacted code that's literally just there to either for obfuscation or for, not in a bad way or anything. It's just like people don't need to read source code of this stuff when it's out on the web. Like it just isn't necessary. And so only the devs really need to learn source code unless they open source it and do all this stuff. But again, all this is public information. You release an app, it's all, anyone can unpack it and go through and look at your website and view source, and it just takes more or less time. But a lot of times it's make it more efficient, change the variable names to smaller ones and just all kinds of different stuff. Anyways, so eventually ran the JavaScript files through, prettifiers, unpackers, stuff like that. And then got some output, which was still like just a whole bunch of layers to go through. But eventually I was like, oh, cool. It looks like they changed the Ethereum RPC URL from this one, this public one, to Gamma's public one. You can see the minus here. They took this one out and put this one in. And then I was like, oh yeah, that makes sense, because I heard a lot of people complaining about RPC errors and stuff on the bridge. So I never ran anything myself, but I saw people were talking about that. It's like, oh, they probably released this new version just to test out using Gamma stuff after they've seen it working and stuff for a while, I imagine. So shout out to Gamma. I mean, he's doing a lot of RPC services, and even apparently the PulseChain Bridge by default is using it. So yeah, there may be some other changes. I kind of stopped there. I was like, oh, I don't look like a lot of interesting things happening, but maybe in the future versions, maybe previous ones. I didn't go through and diff the previous ones either, especially when the fees stuff changed and all that. But who knows? If I get bored, maybe I'll do some more stuff at some point. But in the future, yeah, it'd be interesting to see what changed. In the past, it's kind of already there. But and funny enough, I was like, so this is literally looking at the deep code level, and then I was like, oh, let me just go check the bridge and see. And literally, if you go to the bridge and click the gear, so, oh yeah, Gamma's URL is the default one. Now they did change it, I imagine, from the what the code says from the previous version, from the public node one to gamma.io one. So yeah, I just posted that here as well. So anyways, I thought it was interesting to go through that of like, okay, I start from nothing. I don't know how to get an IPFS. I don't know how to download an IPFS app. I know it's possible. It doesn't sound that hard to do, but you got to download it. You got to use diffing tools. You got to unpack the JavaScript and do all this stuff. and then look for the changes after diffing it. Again, to me, it's, I didn't spend a lot of time on it just because, all this stuff I did a bunch of other times in different contexts. I just applying some of those tech skills to crypto, basically at this point, or crypto projects and apps and stuff. So I learned about IPFS, a little bit more about it and all that stuff in the process. Not that you really need to know much, but that was interesting to go through that. And that was the big question, right? Every time there's a new version of the bridge, like, oh, did they turn the fees back on? And it's like, no, I mean, it still says 0%. I don't think I've bridged since version 107, but it says 0% here. So I didn't see anything in the code that changed it. I could have missed something, but I didn't see anything either. And I don't hear anyone reporting there are fees now. So, but the next version, when they do version 108, maybe they will. And anyone is free to go look at the code, diff between them, see what changed. Literally, here's all the instructions just to see what the public changes are. Since, for the clients, like I said, for the validator stuff, we have a code repository. We can see all the stuff nicely written out here as far as the upstream changes that they just basically updating people on for what they are using now, as well as the custom changes for PulseChain. But anyone is free to, go download the client and play with themselves. I just thought, hey, it'd be fun to go through this, go from 0 to, hey, I downloaded and diffed an IPFS app version, and it just happened to be PulseChain Bridge. It could be anything else. It could be any of the other apps. It could be Hexact. It could be, anything else. Literally, like, go to hex.com. Get a version there. You can see, like, all this stuff does. So go to hex.com. You see all the links here, all the links to download all the stuff. All it is, this website, this is just a little bit how websites are built and stuff. All it's doing is pulling from this JSON, all they have to do is update the JSON. It'll update the links on the site, update the information, all that stuff. Even the front end community front ends, they can add more. The website will display more or less, or different ones, and checksums and links and all that stuff too. So this is kind of like just what the website is pulling from in order to build the view you see here. This is kind of like, there's different concepts in development and web apps and stuff, like front end and back end, and the web view, and I forget what is the MVC, right? MVC, it's I forget this stuff. I don't work on like web frameworks that much, but it's MVC, model view controller. Yeah, that's what it is. So model view controller. So that's like a common one that's, different one. So model handles the data logic, interacts with database and stuff. The view handles the presentation, dynamically rendered, and the controller handles the request flow. So just, end user does requests. It gives it a view, the model interacts with database, all that stuff. So it's just an idea of how a lot of websites and stuff work. And it's really cool that they publish a JSON that not only the website can use, but other apps and community resources and people building upon it can use too, such as Go Real Defi. So I thought it was fun. Didn't take that long, and I thought it was worth going through because I learned something. Maybe other people learned something too. And no fee increases for this one. Again, if you're interested in that, it doesn't appear to be any here. But hey, version 108. You never know. You never know when Richard, the PulseChain devs are going to flip the fee switch back on, and who knows? We're definitely going to be speculating about that when it happens as well, about what it means. What does all this stuff mean, right? So I don't know. Let me know. What do you guys think? Do you think the fees will be coming back the next version? Like, what are the devs waiting on to flip the fees back on? We're just waiting for more people to get in before it becomes expensive, or not expensive, but not free anymore to bridge over? What do you guys think? I'll get to chat while you guys have a minute. All right, that didn't take too long. Fast Angel says, let's talk bridges. I said bridges, which is a play on brides and bribes, or vice versa. What's up, Tea Time? Caught you live on Drivehoming. I hear a lot of people listen to me on when they're driving. And you know what? I feel the same. I listen to a lot of people, I do it when I'm taking a run, or I'm driving, because a lot of times I'm not listening when I have other stuff to do, or I'm working on something or otherwise. It's really, especially if you drive for a living, or if you just need to, drive to run errands, or you're just driving on a daily basis, like listening to a podcast or listening to streams and stuff, especially live, is pretty cool. Just concentrate on the road. Don't have any accidents. Like, be safe out there. You don't need to live chat. You know, if you're driving, don't feel the need to interact. I understand. Don't worry. You can do it afterwards if you like. What's up, Mr. Monty Fontaine? That says you're too fast, Abdul. You're too fast, comma, Abdul. What's up, the Hexagon Contractor? Good to see you guys. Hope to see some of you in Vegas as well. If you're not aware of PulseChain Tour, hopefully the gradual broke syndrome is switching to sudden wealth syndrome for a lot of you and all of us in the ecosystem, where you're not too broke to do events and spend money on whatever you want. But I'm certainly going to enjoy the meetup. I haven't even looked at. I need to go through the itinerary myself. Pretty cool though. Pretty cool. Yeah, gonna enjoy Vegas. It's got a great lineup too. There's a tweet with all the people. They have a. Let's see. I don't know if they have a picture of a lot of us, but Axis is going to be there. I think Ben's going to be there. Ben Bitboy is going to be there. Donovan Jolly is going to be there. I haven't got to meet him yet. Be pretty cool. So, PulseChain Tour up there doing a lot of amazing stuff. Crypto Bigfoot, me engineer too. Nice, man. Nice. Maybe you'll appreciate my content more than sometimes I feel like I'm speaking. It's just like, oh, I think it's interesting. I kind of prioritize that too, honestly. Like, I like talking about creating content, having conversations and stuff that I want that give me an edge or improve my edge otherwise. And of course are good for me to learn and do that stuff. And then also can be a win-win where I can like share that knowledge at scale with other people, right? So it's like the priorities. Like, I prioritize that when I create content. Like, it's going to help me either maintain or improve my edge on, in crypto or otherwise, or in technology. I think all this stuff's just interesting. Am I interested enough in it in order to go through it and do it and work on it? And is it going to help other people learn who are interested in the same things? Davis, what's up? Unplugged Dad, will PLS on Coinbase? Man, I hope it'll be a glorious day, won't it? You never know. I mean, depending on how you say that, it is on Coinbase. Technically, they listed it as a coin, not to buy, not on the main platform or anything like that, but they have it on the website somewhere, so you can spin that a bunch of different ways. But hopefully one day, I don't know. I'll make a bridge from ETH.W to PulseChain, not the Hexes. You know what? What was the website people were using before for that? You could bridge over. I forget the name of it. They were using something to bridge over to ETH Fair, ETH.W, all that stuff from ETH at the time before PulseChain. Yeah, you never know. You never know. Yeah, make sure the update the bridge server if you run it locally. Check for PulseX V3. Yeah, that's yeah. And if you want to look at, I mean, just literally, if you just want to use Go Real DeFi as a way to keep up to date with the latest versions of stuff, because it has a backend script that literally does that. Click verify hash. A lot of people use this to verify that, you're pointing to the right version and all that stuff. But you can see the latest version of Hex is 103, 107 for the bridge, 103 for the Launchpad, 105 for the scan for the Block Explorer, 105 for PulseX, and 103 for ETHEX. So you can see which ones are updated, have been updated the most. The dev teams are working on the most. The ones with multiple versions coming out. Like, I guess you could extrapolate that. So the bridge and PulseX and the Block Explorer have had the most updates, which makes sense, right? Are the fees coming back, please? I'm not sure if you want the fees to come back or if you were just putting pleasantries in the comment. Please answer this question. I think I already did though. Yeah, not sure. And I was asking everyone to also speculate if in version 108, if they were or not, but I haven't heard anyone speculate that. Did I miss it? No, I mean, sort of, but I just recapped it for you. No worries. Welcome. BLS Funk Bum. Nice, welcome. Any other questions? I got 2 more minutes. I'll answer one more question if anyone has any. If not, we will call it a short stream. Short, action-packed, to the point, little fluff, minimal, I'll say minimal effort. I guess it was minimal effort after I already did all the work in the tweet. And I just covered it, in video to inform everyone, to entertain you with nerdy talk, all that type of stuff. Check out RH. If you're not subbed, you can click the sub button or click RHMax.tv. If you click that, it'll ask you, it's got a little fancy little nerd redirect there. It'll ask you if you want to sub. So feel free to do that if you are interested. I don't really ask people to sub or talk about that much, but I did do RHMax.tv as the easy way to direct people to the channel and give them option to sub if they like. And if you don't know Go Real DeFi, I don't know. I can tell you that I use it every day, and that let's see, Ben just tweeted it was one of his favorite sites, and Coffee puts it in the link of a lot of his videos, or if not all of his videos, I'm not sure. I see it in the link of all his videos, and Somi tweets about it all the time. Like if you go to likes, see recently, yeah. Shout out to Ben Dubard, appreciate that, man. I love this meme. It's so funny. Can't lose, we're going to Mars. It's got the Argentine president, Elon, Trump, Richard with the Louis Vuitton airplane bag. Oh man, that's a good one. I don't know who made that. Shout out to them. That's funny. Anyways, I was going to say likes. Yeah, so many tweets about it on his PulseChain memes. By the way, PulseChain memes at PulseChain memes has a lot of PulseChain memes, and also they tweet about Go Real DeFi a lot. And Somi, says it in there too. Like Somi created that one, maintains it otherwise. Yeah, I don't know. I like it. I use it every day. It's got links to all different stuff. You can check your airdrop from Ethereum, video playlist of farming, NFTs. You can check those. Different projects. We got do a quick check, 217 projects on PulseChain, analytics, dexes, and all kinds of different stuff. Privacy, security, staking, stats. Got a billion different stat sites, and I've aggregated them, most of them. If I'm missing one, let me know. Aggregated them. You got the PulseChain war chest if you want to see all the stuff from Sacrifice. One of the most interesting things in the community, I think, is shout out to Tanto Nomini, aka Dipcatcher, putting that together. Really cool stuff. I'll drop it in the chat. A lot of people like to check that out for if they're interested in seeing that. Did it post? Try again. Oh, it did. Okay. Pretty cool stuff. That's where you hear people saying $600 million a die. You can check that out. 3 billion in hex, all that cool stuff. So pretty cool. Yeah, read the disclaimer to know, what you're looking at and all that stuff too. But pretty cool stuff. Rosor, which is better, Pulse or PulseX? I don't know. I always answer this. I don't have a succinct answer. I always say, do you like 2 scoops ice cream or 3 scoops ice cream? Yeah, both are pretty good. I don't think, and if you believe in the theory that they're all paired together, they all go up and down together. If you believe that, then maybe that helps too. And then if you believe ink gets leverage, that's another interesting play as well. But no advice, just giving you some nuance there. Hopefully that's helpful. Hey Max, the PulseX V3 pulls, the Pulse V3 pulls, you can be paid in ink. I don't know. V3 pulls. I talked about, if you watch the stuff Richard talked about, he was going to work, or not talk about he's going to work on, but the notes of things he would like to see. I don't know what you call it. Type in new stuff coming PulseChain 2024. And I went over a list of tweet he did a couple years ago around the stuff. And he talked about V3 stuff. Pretty sure in that one. So I don't know. I mean, PulseX V3 pull. I mean, I don't know. That could be interesting. I think V2 has so many advantages, especially in the line of mad gains. I've covered that now, so I'm not going to go through it here, but there's a lot of cool things regarding mad gains with V2, and I believe that's why Richard stuck to it. So if we get V3 official PulseChain from PulseChain Dev V3 stuff, be interesting. Would it be paid in ink? I don't know. I mean, it sounds like new contract stuff because, you know, V2 is kind of set up to pay ink right now. And yeah, interesting to see. Who knows? Who knows what PulseX is going to look like in 2025? Could look a lot different. Who knows? Fees paid in bribes. Not sure how that scales or the decentralized nature of that. Never know. Bridge fees, good or bad? I don't know. Like you can make a case either way. It could be like bridge fees. Again, there's like this 10D chess, right? I don't know. Good. Who's benefiting from bridge fees? So the bridge people who are getting paid for it, the bridge validators, the fee recipients. I mean, I don't know. I guess it's kind of one of those economic things. You want them to keep running the bridge. How long do they want to do that for free? Is it literally just to keep the infrastructure in place, turning them back on, a limited time, turning them off just to keep people in? It could just be that kind of angle to be economic. Hey, like validators, how long are you going to run a validator without being paid? Probably not very long, right? If you want to accumulate the coins you believe are going to go up in price, for example. So good question. I don't know. I think it's literally just, you got fee recipients. I've talked about this. Search for bridge validators paid on the channel. I did a video the other day. I released a video talking to Dipcatcher about it. Yeah, they're getting paid, and then they haven't been for a while, but I imagine they'll want to get paid for services again. This could just be a limited time offer, right? Richard likes all the limited time offer stuff. Limited time offer, get your bridge fees in before you start paying the validators again. Bridge validators. Those are usually bad to earn it. Yeah, I mean, yeah, there could be a bunch of different things into it too. Some bridge fees are good. I mean, again, I think it's to incentivize people to run the infrastructure, right? Like, I mean, but you could also counter and say, well, you know, is that their only source of income? Do they really need it? How incentivized are they to do it for free? I mean, we could look at this like 50 different angles. Interesting. How are the bridge validators do it for free? They apparently decided, you know, the bridge is still running and transactions are getting validated. So apparently they believe it would be okay to do it for free for a while, which again, I could relate that to, I could say, okay, as a validator, you know, unless you're running, I don't know how many, unless you're running way more than one validator right now, for example, or you have the free hardware costs or something, you're probably not having a lot of ROI because the pulse price is down so much. But what if the pulse price went up 10x? What if it went up 100x? You know, so I look at it as an investment, even though I may be losing money today validating based on, you know, I have different setup and the cloud is more expensive than home and all this stuff. I personally believe the value will go up in the future and it'll take care of itself. So that's one angle. Would it be stupid to unstake my EHEX because I hate Ethereum bridge to PulseChain and stake there? Well, you can't stake EHEX on PulseChain. You could trade the EHEX for PHEX and stake it on PulseChain currently. Who knows in the future? I don't know. I don't give, it sounds like the financial advice category. I would just say that I primarily go for the cheapest T-shares. So I like both HEX. However, I would say I probably do 60-40 prefer PHEX, but it's not like a 90-10 type of deal. 60-40, somewhere in that range. So, all right, everyone. That's all we got for you on the stream. Hope that was helpful. Hope you were entertained, you're informed, all that good stuff. Got some questions answered. Appreciate that. All right. Scivive and 5555. We are out.